Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we talk about all of the ways that you can have the luckiest day at the most magical place on Earth.
Yes.
Yes. It's vaguely St. Patrick's Day time, right?
Yeah.
Everybody feeling...
I mean, it's totally St. Patrick's Day time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a vaguely St. Patrick's Day theme. That's what you meant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what I mean. Thank you for reaching with me there. Today we're going to be talking about luck, the concept of luck, and how you can have luck happen to you at Walt Disney World. We've been pretty lucky at Walt Disney World. We've had a few lucky things happen to us.
Totally.
And there's a lot of things at Walt Disney World that kind of come down to luck when you really think about it.
Yes, and I feel bad when people have experiences that are unlucky, especially, especially when they are coming from out of town.
Yes, it is unfortunate because, it's not cheap and sometimes you're far away. So when the stars don't align and you don't have the most magical, this little preview of what we're going to be talking about, weather, or you have some vacation mishaps, then, that can be demoralizing.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
But the flip side of that is that sometimes you get that extra pixie dust type of experience.
Yeah. So, today we're just talking about luck, not like how to get it, because that's not possible.
You wear green like us. No, just kidding. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing you can do.
Be a good person.
Yeah, get your karma right.
Yeah.
All right, before we dive into our list, we wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. We feel so lucky that you're here with us. If you would like to further support the show, we would love to see you leave a review on the podcast if you're listening on Spotify, who, by the way, has a green logo, so good for them. They must be very lucky. Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we'd love to see reviews on those. And if you would like to see the green that we are wearing, you can check us out on the YouTube channel, Neverland Navigation Co., where every week we upload a visual version of the podcast for free for you to enjoy.
Yeah, and you could see my lucky shirt, which I will be posting on Instagram because Jake made this design and it's like my favorite thing ever.
Oh, thank you. I'm a total nerd for some of the lesser known Disney stuff.
Yeah, Disney history.
Yeah, if you guys don't know about Lucky the Dinosaur, keep listening and we'll get into that
it. And then check out Instagram where I'll have posted about the shirt at some point.
Yeah, if you're already in the know, then you might
have to go back. Yes, if you want a Lucky the Dinosaur shirt, you might have to go back at our Instagram because I'll post it before this airs.
Yes, yeah. Take a look.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for my shirt. I love it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So also, if you are thinking about taking any kind of a vacation in the future, whether it be a Disney vacation, Disney parks, Disney cruise line, or a non-Disney vacation, I do those too. I also specialize at Universal and pretty much all the other cruise lines. Please send me an email at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. I am a free-to-you travel agent that will get you the same deals you could get by spending hours and hours online, searching out the best deal yourself. Or better, or a lot of times I can do better than what you could find by spending hours and hours of your own time doing this. And you get free trip t-shirts from our 5-star Etsy shop for your trip, because I get commission from wherever you're traveling to, even though you get the same price as you could get yourself. It's crazy.
What a steal.
Yeah. So email me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. I'll exchange contact information with you and we'll get your trip booked.
Absolutely. A surefire way to plus up your vacation, and luck has nothing to do with it.
Well, and you get yourself some good karma by helping out a small business.
That definitely, that has to add karma points.
Yeah.
Supporting small businesses. We love that.
You get a great deal, you get free t-shirts, good karma.
Absolutely.
What more could you ask for?
That's the real pot of gold.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this list a little bit. There's so many different ways that you can have some unexpected good fortune at Walt Disney World. First of all, we feel lucky that we are local to the parks, so we are kind of close enough that we get to experience the magic of the parks regularly. But it can be so special if you're more infrequent visitors. If you come every
Yes.
couple years, if you know, make a big family vacation out of it,
Mm.
you know, then that can be, you can feel like the luckiest person in the world just to be there and see the castle at the end of Main Street. That's such a satisfying, you
Yeah.
know, happy
And
feeling.
the your attitude and perspective have a lot to do with that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Expectations are the key to everything, is a lesson that we've learned in the past
Yeah, but
couple
it's hard
years.
with this because you cannot go into Disney with low expectations.
That's yeah, I guess that's especially for, you know, the reputation and the price point. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it. But something that you can do is take everything on this list and know that there is a possibility that it might not, you know, be a stars aligning situation, and to have a plan for those
Yeah,
things.
that's true.
Or you might just end up having the luckiest vacation of all time, which is kind of what we're going to talk about
Yeah, we
today.
just want to tell some of our lucky stories.
Yes, we yeah, that's truly what this is. So what's the first thing that we've got on our lucky list, Morgan?
Well, I think to me, this is the easiest one to control, like to actually plan for, although you can't totally plan for it.
Hmm.
And I mean, but there's still a lot of luck involved, but also one of the most important things, which is crazy because nobody can do anything about it, and that is the weather.
Ah, the weather. That makes a huge difference,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
That can totally,
It depends on what you're looking for, but we love Florida winter
yeah. Those couple cool weeks of
or
the year.
months. I mean,
Yeah.
they're weeks scattered throughout some months, I
It's
guess.
true. They kind of come and go.
Yeah, that's where the luck part is involved. But I think like generally a November, December, January, February
Hmm.
are your best, like still crossing your fingers because you don't want to be too cold.
Right. You don't want those, you know, low.
I don't want to be wearing a parka.
No, a parka in the park?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But there are some. What's your ideal temperature for Disney World?
Oh, I like it a little bit colder than you
I
do.
know.
Morgan tends to run a little bit colder than I. So in the parks, I like it low 70s or lower,
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be any lower than like 65, really,
Yeah, yeah, I get
because
that.
then you start to get to the point where it's on and off jacket, it's
Yeah.
multiple layers, and then inside you're too warm, outside, you know, it
Yeah.
starts to get a little bit more complicated, which I know is a very Floridian mindset to have about the weather, but we are also in the summer boiled to death.
Yes.
So, you know, it's give and take a
Right.
little bit
Right.
here.
I like the high 70s, low 80s.
Yes.
Yeah, and not rainy, of course.
Yeah, that's the other
I don't mind
component.
some cloud cover.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the sun too. Then I would say either high 70s and sunny or low 80s and cloud cover are probably my ideals.
Yeah, no, that does sound nice. The cloud cover, it really helps to if it's hot, it helps to block out the sun,
Yeah.
helps you not get so sunburned, although you still can. So put on your
Yes.
SPF because that is a thing. But yeah, the cloud coverage helps a little. And in Florida, we have this thing called sun showers. I know it's different names in different places in the
Yeah.
country, but sometimes we just get a little bit of rain, like almost like a refreshing little mist of rain.
Do you like that?
I love that.
Yeah.
I think, especially on a hot day,
It's not good for my hair, but
it's not good for my hair either. The frizz starts kicking in,
Yeah.
all kinds of problems. But when you're overheated walking around the World Showcase, and just for a couple minutes you get this light mist of rain,
it is nice.
It's like a natural gift.
It
you
is
know?
nice. It is nice.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
So that's just a couple of the ways that the weather could end up being lucky for
Yes,
you.
because even within those months that I'm talking about, like for me, November and December are my favorite months because I love Christmas. You guys
Mhm.
all know that. And I love all the Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
But also to add to that, I love the weather in those months. That's when
Right.
it's normally in the 70s.
Mhm.
Pretty consistently, I'd say. We don't get much rain at all.
Yeah, no, it's
in,
not the
in
rainy
November,
season.
December. I could go every day in November, December.
I know. Those are the times where I wish we could take some long weekends and
Yeah.
stuff and really soak in the parks. And sometimes we do.
And sometimes we do.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, like in January and February, we had some days that I would say were too cold back
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
And we even had a little bit of cold and rainy, a cold and rainy week where North Florida got some snow even, and that was wild. I had some clients that were vacationing
Mhm.
at that time, and they were not happy.
Yeah, that is a rare
I
and
felt
crazy
so
combo.
bad because, like, as a travel agent, I can help you navigate towards some luck, but I can't do a damn thing about the weather. You know
You
what I
can't
mean? And I
control the
feel bad.
weather?
It's not like they were complaining to me. I just, like, or not like they were complaining like I could do something. It was just,
No,
I
yeah.
felt bad
You
that
want them to have the best vacation
I do. If
possible.
you book with me, I want to do everything I can.
Of
And
course.
ugh, that was a rough weather week for us. Too cold,
Well,
weird.
maybe one day we'll get the climate dome,
Everybody
but
thinks there's now. People, not everybody. A few people.
yeah, right. But until then,
Until then.
it is what it is. You can hope for your good luck, rub your lucky pebble or whatever you do to manifest your luck. But yeah, the weather's kind of out of your control, and the combo of like the rain and the cold
Yeah.
is not really something we get very much
No,
here in
no.
Florida.
That's why it was
So
so I felt so bad
I
because
know.
it was that was an unluck for them.
Ultimate unlucky.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
normally I would say January and February are also good times to go to Disney.
I agree.
Yeah. For the weather.
Totally.
Sometimes even March can be
Yeah.
not 100 degrees.
Not as exactly. Not as blazing hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one of the ways. Another way that we have on this lucky list is being pixie dusted by a cast member. This is something that you don't ask for. It just happens to you at Disney World, and
when you're least expecting it.
I know, that is when it tends to pop up, is
Mhm.
when you're not, you're not really looking for it, you're not really thinking about it, but a cast member adds some extra magic to your experience that day. And that is, I would say, a signature part of the Disney customer service experience, that sometimes they go
Right.
above and beyond to do that kind of thing. But it's also, in my opinion, something that you can't go in expecting
No, you
necessarily.
cannot be expecting it. That is like a surefire way to not get it.
Right, expectations.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You can't go in expecting to get it, but we do have some fun stories about when we did. And
Yeah.
this isn't just, I mean, this is a lot of the cast members just being nice and trying to go above and beyond. But also, I don't know if I think you knew this. I don't know if everybody knew this. The cast members have like an amount of quota they have to reach with the pixie dusting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how police have to pull over a certain amount of people, like for speeding or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They have to pixie dust a certain amount of people per month.
Yeah.
Like it's a number they have to hit.
Which is, I think that is such a wonderful initiative.
I do too. I love it with my whole heart.
Yeah, that is such a great way to boost enthusiasm about the trips to the park and to create some really, really great vacation memories for
Magical
people.
memories that make people want to come back. It's genius. I love it. Sometimes it's something that might have cost Disney a little bit of money to do, like giving a free snack or something like that.
Right.
Sometimes it's something completely free. My favorite one that Jake will talk about, I hope, when it was his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
One year we went for, I don't know how many years ago it was. We went for Jake's birthday.
We've been friends a long time,
Yeah.
so I kind of forget which one is which sometimes,
Yeah.
but yes.
We went for Jake's birthday and got pixie dusted,
Mhm.
a surprise that was completely free to them, but made our entire year.
Should I tell the people?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
We were in the Magic Kingdom, and it was my birthday, so we had our birthday buttons on.
Mhm.
And one of the cast members out front of the Haunted Mansion noticed that we all had these buttons on, asked us whose birthday it was, and then they said, kind of in a hushed voice, "Come with me." And we
Yeah.
were like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? What is this? So they took us through what I would call like a side entrance, like a door you don't normally go through to get into the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And it led to this hallway, this narrow hallway, And it definitely was, operations, backstage type of situation, because through one door we could kind of see there were people working in there. They
Yeah.
had a kind of layout of the ride as a graphic on the wall, which was very cool to see. And then they took us into the stretching room and gave us like a private stretching room
Oh
experience
my gosh, it was so
before they
crazy.
let us out into the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was really magical. We felt so grateful. We did absolutely nothing to like ask for it,
Right.
or didn't even know to be hoping for something
No, no,
like
no.
that at all.
And you can't. Like I said,
Exactly.
that's a surefire way to not have it happen to you.
So true.
And please do not get a birthday pin when it's not your birthday to try to get something like this. That's not. We've gone and celebrated like every birthday between mine, Jake's husband, my child, and this is like the only time something like that has happened.
Yeah,
So
something like
it's
that.
not like that was just crazy, over the top, exceptional,
Totally.
wild.
But yeah, nothing we
Yeah.
could have hoped for. We were just so grateful
Yeah.
that they did that for us. And then when they let us out and we had the rest of the ride to go, we basically spent the whole time being like, can you believe how
Can you
cool that
believe that
was?
happened? I can't believe that. Like, I'm still like, I can't believe that happened.
I know, it totally made our day.
Yeah.
It was like the feeling you get when you're evacuated.
I was just about to say the only other time I feel like that is
Yeah.
like a really good evacuation. Which we should have put that on the list.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I have one more pixie dust story.
Please,
We were in line at Disneyland for the Mickey Rose macaron. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Okay, I remember that.
It's my favorite treat at Disneyland.
That's at
Jolly
Holiday, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And it was looking bad. Like the line was long. I didn't think we were gonna get it. And a cast member came up to us and was just, we said, "Oh, we're hoping we can get one of these. But this is like why I'm here. We're like,
yeah, right,
from Florida. This is like what we came. We're only here for one day." And then she was like, "Oh man, they're sold out." And then came back up to us a minute later and was like, "Here, come with me," and then gave us one.
Oh my gosh.
So like made one appear.
Amazing.
And just gave it to us for free. So that was amazing. You got a free churro once or something, right?
Oh yeah. There was in Hollywood Studios we got a funnel cake.
Oh yeah, funnel cake. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, we were there's a funnel cake stand outside of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. We ordered a funnel cake. They saw, I don't think it was even our birthday or anything. I think that was probably one of those situations where they had some pixie dust left over to give out.
I would say a lot of the time it's not because you're wearing a button.
Right.
It's just random.
It's just them making some extra magic.
Yeah.
And we were very, they were just like, this one's on Mickey.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cute.
I've heard that happens a lot with the Dole Whip, because if they do one that is not like Instagram perfect, they'll just give it away.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's some of those things there's so much changing about Walt Disney World and how it operates for people.
Yeah.
But it's those few little touches of magic that remind me what it is that we love about the Disney brand and going to the theme park so much, is that like extra.
It seems like they care.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And that's so nice.
It's so unusual in the customer service industry these days.
Right. Even in theme parks.
But like literally everywhere. It's hard to like find people in customer service that are like, helping you with your food, or they're serving you or whatever, that actually make you feel like they care about your experience.
Right.
But these kind of things really like seal the deal with Disney cares about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And making sure that you feel like you're getting that, magical experience. It is nice to see a company take some initiative to allow that to happen.
Yes.
With programs like Pixie Dust.
Totally.
Great.
So now we can jump back to ride evacuation, which is something that Disney doesn't want to happen.
No.
They're really upset about it.
To them, it's unlucky.
They think so.
But one man's trash is another man's best day ever at the theme parks.
This is only one for like the super fans, though. I could see why this would be annoying to somebody that waited in line for a hot minute and then didn't make it all the way through the ride.
Yes. Now, the only time where this
But
type
for
of,
us,
I know, for us, it's like, please.
woo!
It's such a rush. For the only time this type of experience really bothers me in evacuation is if it is a result of guest behavior in some type of way.
Oh,
That happens infrequently, but sometimes.
that happened to me once on Star Tours. They had to like stop it because somebody was filming. They came on repeatedly and interrupted the ride to say you're not allowed to film, and
Mm.
the jerk face kept doing it.
That was very polite to call
Thanks.
that person. That was the best you could do.
Thanks.
Definitely. Yeah, that type of stuff really gets under my skin
Ugh.
when one bad apple spoils the bunch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In that type of context, especially in a situation where people are paying so much and it's supposed to be once in a lifetime.
Yeah, don't be a jerk.
Very selfish behavior. So that is the only time that an evacuation
Well, and
bothers
there
me.
are some that I can imagine would be terrible, but I've never heard of them happening. You know what I mean?
Oh, not at Disney.
No. Like I don't think I would want to be evacuated off of like Big Thunder.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the roller coasters are pretty rare at Disney to have an evacuation.
I like seeing Space Mountain lit up, but I wouldn't want to
Mhm.
actually be stuck on it.
Yeah, walking down all of that metal scaffolding does seem.
I feel like there'd be some swinging involved.
I would definitely be anxious about the whole thing. We have been lucky enough to experience some very cool evacuations.
Yours is the best.
I have a couple that have been very cool. Do you have any evacuation stories?
Well, I got evacuated off of the People Mover once, and that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. That's a pretty common one, I want to say.
Yeah, that one breaks
You have
down.
too, right?
I have, yes. We were, we got evacuated and we went down through some backstage, hallways with bulletin boards and cubicles.
My favorite one for me was the Tower of Terror.
Oh, I didn't even know you got evacuated off of that.
Yeah, it was a long, long time ago. I'm talking like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we got, you know how you go up and you see the like, I'm going to say movie, but you know what I mean, where you see the hotel, what corridor, and then you go up again and you go in and you like see the eye and all the spooky stuff around you. We got all the way to where you're about to click into once you roll over into where you're like in
the drop
you're like
shaft.
Clicked into the drop shaft. That's when it stopped. Holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
such anxiety.
Yes, and then they came and got us and we had to walk out like through those things that you're going through with like the eye and the person.
Yeah.
They are kind of like, they're practical effects. So there are actually things there, but then there are also mirrors and stuff like that. And it was very cool to see lit up.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
And then take a normal elevator to get out.
Boo, no.
Yeah.
You want a normal elevator in that situation, I think.
I would have preferred the stairs, to be honest with you, but because it was nerve-wracking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this is 20 years ago, so I wasn't. Now, I think I would be like, great. You know what I mean?
I know. That would be like really cool to see all the practical effects lit up, because the eyeball like is a projection screen, so it's just kind of a white orb when it's not lit up and stuff. Yeah, that for us the nerds, that would be like amazing. I know this didn't happen to me, but when on the very last ride of Universe of Energy, the ride stopped halfway through and they weren't able to continue with it, so they just let everybody kind of get out and walk around the prehistoric dinosaur scene and kind of take pictures and just kind of enjoy the ride space.
Yeah.
And that seems like the coolest evacuation of all time to me.
Yeah.
So like, your last ride.
Yours was so cool.
Okay, so this was Pirates of the Caribbean.
But it wasn't a last opportunity.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was like super special. This is special in some way though. The Pirates of the Caribbean here at Walt Disney World was shut down while we were on it, and we were like, oh, they're gonna come out in the waders, the rubber boots, and do all of that.
Yeah.
And they did a little bit, but then they pulled us up on shore, and we were.
They pulled your boat up on shore?
No, they pulled us out of the boat onto.
You didn't have to walk through water.
We didn't have to walk.
I was
through
like,
water.
I never heard the waders part of this, so now I'm thinking, how did you?
No.
How did you not have to walk in the water?
Someone came up alongside. This was the mermaid sequence. Well, are there still mermaid skeletons in there?
No.
No.
There used to be, though. Wow.
Right.
Blast from the past, you just like blew my mind.
Sorry. Call back for those of you who wrote that in the
That
2000s.
was so scary when I was a kid. That's why I blocked that out. I'm
That
like,
was kind of spooky.
because as a kid, you're like, well, for me, I was Little Mermaid obsessed.
Oh, Ariel's dead.
Yeah, what happened?
That I'd never even thought about that. That is wild.
Oh, I hated that part.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just traumatized me.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
That part of the ride, where there's a skeleton. He's up against the
very
wall.
beginning.
He's wearing a hat. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the very beginning. We were there, so a cast member came out on the shore beside the ride, kind of put his hand out and let us get out of the boat. Because at that point, the boat is very close to the side of the ride, the shore.
Yeah.
So it was easy for us to get out. So that was great. But then, as we were walking out, we did get an opportunity to take a selfie with the pirate skeleton man, and I was with my husband Tyler, and I was like, "Hey, we have to. If we're gonna do this, we have to do it so quick. Come here!" And we snapped the picture, and it is one of my favorite pictures of us. It is. I feel very rare to have the opportunity to take like a selfie type of picture with something from the actual ride. So I was very, very grateful for that little opportunity.
And I can't believe I haven't asked you this when you told me this story to begin with. I was so fangirling over you like getting to take a picture with that skeleton that I didn't even think about all these details. But tell me, since you were there, is it real sand? Were you walking on real sand?
I don't think it is real sand because I don't think we left footprints.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think it was. I think it's like a textured kind of like it was like
concrete.
Yeah, it was hard. It was it wasn't soft.
It looks like real sand.
It does look like sand.
And then there's those little crabs, right?
Yeah, that is that scene.
Are those little animatronics or?
Now, we got evacuated off of the boat and we were right there at that scene and I knew what I wanted to do.
Oh.
So we kind of raced over to the pirate. So we didn't really get to explore because really they want you to get in a line and go.
That one story you were telling about when they let them do that was a special occasion last.
Right. They kind of just let them do whatever, which is my ideal, obviously situation. But we had a game plan of, okay, we're going to run over to that, take a picture real quick. And that was all we got to do. We didn't get to look around anymore. And honestly, I was barely paying attention to like the sand or anything.
Yeah, so it could be real sand, but you're not 100%.
Yeah, I just don't think...
I totally get it. You're like kind of focused. You're like, yes.
Right. We were like making a beeline.
You were fangirling.
Totally. Oh, so much. I was like, this is once in a lifetime. I was like coaching my husband. I was like, listen, we got to get there, take the picture and go.
Yeah.
But I don't I feel like I would remember leaving the footprints and like, because I would be thinking, oh, are they going to like rake that back over?
Right.
That's what
I would be thinking too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was, but yeah, we ended up getting the picture. We were very happy with it. And that is definitely my most unique evacuation kind of story. We've been evacuated off of other stuff, but that one was the one that we got to like take something cool from,
Yeah, you got rewarded for your, and that's one of those situations where that was the very beginning of the ride.
Right.
So if you had been waiting, which you guys we don't, because we're locals, we don't really wait in long lines. So I'm guessing the line was low.
Yeah, it was. I think, it was.
So that's good. But like, I would hate for somebody to wait for an hour and then get evacuated at scene 1.
Yeah,
But then they reward you with a picture that nobody else can have. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is, and of course, Disney does the thing where they give you a lightning lane.
To come back.
Do
they still do that, you think?
They give it to you.
I haven't had this happen since they switched to multipass.
Yes, I have seen online that they do the same thing. It's like an individual lightning lane for anything other than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Right.
And I think Space Mountain might be also. For us, it was no Seven Dwarves.
Well, now it will be Tron.
No Space Mountain. Now it's exactly. Yeah. I was just about to say it's probably Seven Dwarves and Tron.
And maybe Peter Pan.
Oh man, we should have used it on Peter. I don't remember what we used
Peter Pan is almost always excluded. I bet that you didn't get to.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense. They're protective over that one. I get it.
Yeah, the line's always crazy, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool story. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I love that story. I sent Morgan the picture immediately. I was
Yeah.
like, guess what happened?
Yeah.
It was such a fangirly type of moment.
We'll have to ask Tyler if he'd be okay with us posting that on our
Oh
Instagram.
yeah, we definitely should. I'll definitely ask him. That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yeah.
Check out the at Neverland Navco Instagram.
Yeah. We'll pressure him into
Oh yeah, we'll
just
make.
kidding.
Don't you worry, we'll make it happen with my luck.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
so that's a weird fun one. I
Yeah,
like that.
totally like unplannable.
Yeah.
There's no
And
way.
and even if you don't get to do something unbelievable, like take a picture with the skeleton, getting that lightning lane to go on something that might not have gotten to do because the lines are so long is a pretty good deal too.
Totally. Yeah, and the thrill of walking on the set.
Yeah.
There's just cool stuff
You
that
got to
goes
get to
along.
see, no matter what, you do normally get to see some sort of the backstage action.
Yeah. So if you're a nerd and that would be lucky for you, then
Yeah.
we totally get it. Lucky for anyone though would be this next one on the list.
Yeah, and I almost didn't put it on here because it's not something that happens frequently. So
Right.
definitely don't even think about it. Like this, but I did want to mention because it has happened to me once and
Yes.
it happened to Jake once.
Yeah.
So it does happen is that you could possibly get a hotel upgrade.
Yeah, that is magic that makes your pocketbook
Oh my God.
sing so happy.
Yes. Our upgrade was from an all-star resort to Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah View.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What an upgrade.
Yeah.
That is like the ultimate upgrade.
Right.
That is the
It was
difference.
unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The difference in price is like shocking.
From value to like
deluxe.
Like,
yeah.
preferred view deluxe.
Right.
That is so magical.
And this one was a long time ago.
Could you not were you second guessing it at first? Could you not believe it? Because if it were me, I'd be like, there's no way, like I must be dreaming, it can't be real,
No, I don't think I felt that way, but I was like shocked in a very wonderful, happy way.
Yeah, that is a great
Yeah,
surprise.
and they didn't know this, but we were celebrating my kid's birthday anyway. But we weren't wearing pins or anything. This is something that happens when they have just extra unsold top tier rooms.
Right.
They will pixie dust somebody to upgrade them, and it's random. It's
so...
decided before you even get there. So it's not anything you could do. Don't go up and like flirt with the check-in person or anything.
Right.
It's decided like in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it really worked out for us.
Totally. That is the ultimate up. I've never heard of anyone being upgraded
that
so
much.
Like extravagantly ever.
Yeah.
So that is really unique and amazing.
It was absolutely magical in every way.
Totally.
Most magical resort experience I've ever had.
I know. When you had told me what had happened, I was like, first of all, I was so happy for you because like what an incredible upgrade. But second of all, I was like, I didn't even know they did that.
Just so you guys know, not that you should try to make this happen, but it's more likely to happen on one night stays.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because they're trying to get the room.
Right. They just have none of these books do we need to give them to people, but it's only for tonight because tomorrow people, we don't know.
In between people leaving and coming in. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. My upgrade was not as extravagant. It was just for whatever reason our room wasn't ready at the Riviera when we were going to check in, so they upgraded us to a deluxe version of the same room.
Yeah. Still amazing. And did they know that you were there celebrating your wedding?
No, they did not know that we were there on our wedding night.
This is just random but lucky.
Yeah, totally random, totally lucky. We were actually getting very nervous because our check-in was not going well. We were there, and as we were checking in, they were like, okay, just wait. Can you sit down and we'll call you back in like 15 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
Like 30 minutes went by and they hadn't called us back. So we got up to the front desk and they were like, okay, we're actually having some problems with your room. Can you just give us a few more minutes and then we'll like do something about it? We were like, okay, please.
See, and in this situation, I'm sure that it helped. I'm sure that it helped that you weren't being a jerk.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think a lot of people would be jerks about it at that point and be like, "Look,
Yeah, we definitely looked nervous because the situation was that we were about to get married in a couple of hours,
mhm,
but before that, we needed to check into our hotel
and get
room
ready."
and
Yeah.
get ready because we were being married in Orlando, but we were staying at the Riviera.
Uh-huh.
So we needed to check into the Riviera and we needed to do it fast. It was not happening fast, and we were starting to like get that sinking feeling of,
Right,
oh my
but you
gosh,
weren't yelling.
of course not.
I wasn't there, but I know you, and I know you weren't yelling, and that probably helped them make the decision to upgrade you as opposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely, as someone who has worked in customer
Yeah.
service, I definitely appreciate when people understand when things are beyond the control of the people who have to deal with the
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
the staff. So I totally get it.
So
And
what was your room like?
we went from a standard Riviera room, which is where we were staying, to the deluxe
Mhm.
accommodation. The room, it was like a little, it wasn't a huge room, but at the Riviera, it was just more, kind of more elaborate accommodations. Like,
Was your view better?
yes,
Yeah,
it was like a water view,
that's awesome.
which was very beautiful. And we stayed out on the balcony for a while and
Oh,
looked out at that, at the bay. And it was really a nice view. And I think that's probably what was the biggest upgrade of all was the view.
I
Uh,
love the balconies on the deluxe resorts. I think that that's like I say a lot when when we've talked about hotels and when I'm talking to clients that there's not enough difference for me from a value to a deluxe to justify the $500 jump
yeah,
because
or more.
yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of times you can get a value resort for less than 200 where a deluxe is generally like 700.
exactly.
But I do love the balconies. I
The
love that there's yeah,
balcony.
sitting out on the balcony and having coffee. Now, if you're going to the park open to close, it makes no sense. You've got no time to sit on a
Doesn't
balcony.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're going to pass out. Anyway,
Unless you're one of those families that doesn't care about the fireworks and maybe you've got like a balcony view that can somehow you can see some fireworks. But literally that is such an uncommon
well,
type
if
of
you've got
situation.
resort days, then I would say it's worth it. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah.
like in between park
If
days.
I'm booking a moderate or deluxe hotel, I'm not doing the parks those days. But I know
Yes.
that's, lucky. But I've got a lot of clients that will do like half and half.
Yeah.
And yeah, that then it makes
Like a
sense.
half rest day.
Like
Or like, oh,
like
half stay at one resort.
no, no, well, yes, but no. I mean
Okay.
like I a client that I had not too long ago did rest day, park day, rest day, park day, rest day, park day. And then
Oh,
my
that is so luxurious.
yes, yes. And
Wow.
then a client that I had the one very recently, they did like 4 hotel days and 2 park days.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
They're having a chill Disney vacation.
Yeah, so it made sense for them to have a deluxe resort, which they did. And it made a lot of sense because they're actually
Gorgeous.
utilizing all of those things.
Totally.
Yeah.
That
Anyway,
sounds
sorry, I
great.
didn't mean to get us off track.
No, I love hearing about how people book their Disney
It's
vacation.
so
It like
interesting.
tells you about the people in some
Yes,
kind of way, you know?
I didn't realize how differently you could do it. I thought
Yeah.
everybody kind of did it the way that I do it.
Getting park time, getting the rides in that you need to get in. I feel like that for a long time was what people came to Disney to do,
Yeah.
you know? But I think there's been a shift a little bit to,
Well, yeah.
and it depends on the
Yeah.
person.
No,
I'm
no,
sure
you're
there's
right.
always been people who have done, a more relaxing approach, but I feel like recently it's even more popular to have a more leisurely
And that I
resort
think that that's
bound.
the better way to do it.
Yeah, it sounds
But
so.
I thought everybody did it the way that like my family did it growing up, where you check in, you hit the parks, you're basically at the parks for multiple days. You only go back to your hotel to sleep and shower, and then you're back in the parks, and then you leave.
That's how we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we did it. That's how my parents do it still. For the most part, that's how we did it when I was kids. And you barely see the hotel.
Right.
You're like sleeping. That's it.
Exactly.
But a lot of people do, and now as an adult, as a Disney person, I like to have resort days built in because I like to explore the resort. I like to take
Yes.
advantage of the amenities, and I
And go
didn't
slow.
realize that a lot of people actually do that,
Yeah.
even more so than I do it. Like this every other thing, I was like, wow, this is smart.
And it really takes the go
Yes.
out of the vacation.
And doesn't that sound so much better?
Oh my god, my
You don't really
anxiety
need
is
a
like being being
vacation after
alleviated.
your vacation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you get some nice relaxing sleep in, lounge by the pool days. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, I
The
like it
the
that.
best of like a Disney vacation and like a relaxing, like
Yes.
how people will take a tropical vacation or something to
Yes.
really
Right.
unwind. It's like the best of both. I love that.
Yeah.
So book that with Morgan now. All right, so hotel upgrades definitely great, and in the parks, there's a lot of ways that you can also run into some luck. Like I love this portion of our list: walking up to a show or a street performer that you were unaware of and getting to see a show.
Yeah.
This happens the most, I feel, at
It
Epcot.
does the most at Epcot. Yeah.
Happens a lot because there are performances in the World Showcase, and recently they've added one to Future World, like an acrobatics type of routine.
Yeah.
Forces of Nature, is that what that's called?
Yeah, I
I
believe
think so,
so.
right? So definitely Epcot. It used to happen more at Hollywood Studios, but it still happens in the different parks.
I like Animal Kingdom. We've walked up and
Yeah.
seen that what's her name? The person that's dressed as she's like a camouflage tree.
Divine.
Divine. I love like
Clever.
accidentally running into her.
Yes,
not literally.
Don't run into Herschel Fall. In the winter time, they have those people with the
Yes.
puppets.
Yes,
The like
this
penguins.
is something that happens more in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Because even in Epcot, we've stumbled into hearing some tales of Christmas around the world, and I love that with my whole heart.
That is so
We
awesome.
don't like last year we did go and we're like, okay, we're gonna see this one at 5 and we're gonna see this one at 3 or whatever. But every other year it's just been like, yeah, we'll walk up if there's somebody talking, we'll listen.
Yeah,
and it's been magical.
It is magical. And in those situations where you're just going through the pavilion to get to a restaurant or a ride,
Yeah.
and you see that someone is telling the story of Christmas in Italy or whatever,
Yes.
it is so, even if you don't get to hear all of it, to just hear that performance and see the storyteller kind of doing their bit, it takes me to a time in Disney that has my whole heart, which was very normal.
Yes.
Like everywhere you go, you saw stuff like that.
Yes.
And that like happenstance of just running into a street performance, I love.
I love that too. I've also, and this doesn't happen as much anymore because Animal Kingdom isn't open at night as much anymore. But I feel like, and this, so if you're going and you're able to do Animal Kingdom at night, this might happen to you where you walk in and something's happening on the tree.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of random.
I love that.
It might be scheduled. One time we asked about it and they said it was like every 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like in
that.
intervals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just
cool.
kind of not like you're just, oh wow, look, something's happening. Let's stop and see what it is. Cool.
I think that's such a great use of the projection technology, is to have those like things just pop up every now and then that you don't need to sit and necessarily watch like a show.
Yeah.
But as you happen upon it, you see there's this like beautiful nature scene on the tree or whatever. That is super magical.
Yeah, even if you're just walking and seeing it when you're walking, amazing. One time last year, I believe in 2024, we were sitting and just having a snack in Animal Kingdom, and then I posted this on Instagram last year. This boat of singing like musicians just flowed by. You know what I mean? It's just kind of magical when that happens.
That is really, because it's like, when you least expect it, you get this thing that you've never seen before, or
oh, I didn't know you existed. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're glad.
I'm glad.
The moment.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Totally. I love that one.
Yes. Our next one is something that happens every once in a while. You can we could give you tips on how to find low wait time rides, but sometimes we're like, I don't know how this happened, but everything's low.
Exactly.
That happened to us a few weeks ago at Hollywood Studios, and I even spent some time going, okay, what's going on that's making this happen? You know what I mean? We couldn't figure it out. No real reason. Just don't know what's going on, but all the lines are low.
we were grateful.
So grateful.
But we were trying to do the math of did school just get back into session? What is happening to cause the traffic to not be so heavy? But sometimes you just go and you realize that you're there on a low crowd day, which is a beautiful feeling, because you kind of exhale and realize you don't have to fight
Yeah,
through,
right.
getting on rides and
We
stuff.
went on some rides that we never go on because we're never gonna wait hours, Rise of
Mhm.
Resistance. Yeah, we
That
went
was
on
awesome.
Runaway Railway. Anyway, it was shocking, but this does happen. It just happens every once in a
It's
while.
true. And like you were saying, there are like some tips and tricks to getting on some
Yeah,
things.
some months are better than others, and
And people even go so far as there are lots of services that offer crowd
calendars.
calendars so that you can try to figure out when to go when it is the least busy. But sometimes, even then, there are days that are less busy than projected
Right.
by, the internet at
And
large.
right, and it can just be random. Like it
Yeah.
could be that the parks weren't not busy that day, but Hollywood Studios just wasn't busy for
Yeah.
whatever random reason. People had just all decided to be in other parks at those couple of
And we
hours.
do see that
You do
because
see
when
that
you're
they
on
can't.
the app, you can see all the park wait times. So we'll
Yes.
see, oh, we're in Hollywood Studios and we can get on Rise of the Resistance in 20 minutes. But if we were in Magic Kingdom right now, we would be waiting an hour for everything.
Yes.
And that is, it's like happenstance, but
It's
you're like,
happenstance.
oh, thank God we
Yeah.
picked this like park of this day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Right.
I love that.
And I'm sure sometimes we're at the wrong one.
We,
You know what I
we
mean?
are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like, oh, actually, this is crazy. Everything here is wild. But if we go right now to Animal Kingdom, everything is
Yeah.
whatever. And we just do because, that is luxurious. But if you happen to be, if you're like, all right, we don't have park hopper tickets, we're at this park, and you get there and you realize it's a low kind of crowd type of day, it sets you up for a more relaxing day at your park for sure.
Totally.
Love that.
I love the how did that happen moments.
Absolutely.
Don't know what's going on, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, right? Thank you, Disney. This next one is something that kind of happens to us a lot, which we're grateful for, which is discovering some new food or beverage item, and you're like, this is my new favorite thing.
Yes.
I love when this happens. There's so many hidden gems at Walt Disney World as far as like food and beverage goes.
Yeah.
If you want to visit our YouTube channel, Neverland Navigation Co., we kind of go through a bunch of restaurants and things that we consider to be hidden gems. Also on our Instagram, we're always posting some new food or beverage something. But every time that we get something and we don't always know what we're gonna like.
Yeah.
Sometimes you take a shot in the dark with stuff and it ends up being our favorite. You tried something recently that's your new like favorite thing.
Yeah. Well, for me, one that was really surprising to me, and I'm really surprised I even bothered trying this because I'm a Dole Whip fanatic, but I tried the Tropical Serenade at the Aloha Isle, and I loved it so much.
What is that?
It's got coconut soft serve, and then pineapple juice, and then a pineapple upside down cake pop. And it was so good. Another big one for me in 2024, Gaston's came out with a ham and cheese. I don't know what it's officially called.
A croquette or something.
No, I don't. But something like that. No. Something fancy like that. Ham and cheese, it's like a tart.
Yeah. It's not a
but
croquette.
It's also not called cheese. It's called whatever the
Gruyere.
Cheese. Yes, exactly. I think
yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
And it has like maybe a bechamel sauce up in there, and it is. We have pretty notoriously slammed the quick serves in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I went into this thinking
some of them are bad.
And some of them are bad. Yeah, that's a good call. And I didn't go into this with high expectations, which, as we said before, sometimes helps.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
I was thinking, oh, okay, well, for Neverland Navigation, I'm gonna try this new quick serve, but I don't expect it to be great. And I don't like ham to begin with.
Right.
And it was mind-blowingly good. I highly recommend it to anybody going to Magic Kingdom.
We were very surprised. You told me about it, and then the next time we were in Magic Kingdom, I was like, okay, well, we should definitely get it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got it, it was so surprisingly good in a way that, okay, so normally Gruyere and some of the more
fancy cheeses,
right, not American cheeses, are not, on offer at Disney because
right. I was like,
at
is
Magic
this
Kingdom
is
in Fantasyland,
Gruyere?
Yeah, right. That's what I thought too. I was like, this is not gonna even taste like Gruyere.
Yeah.
But then when we got it, it was like, oh, this is for adults. Oh my god, amazing.
But the weird thing is they serve it with a bag of chips, which I find absolutely hilarious.
It is hilarious, and I don't need the bag of chips. I don't want to even say this on the podcast because I know Mickey Mouse is listening. Like they normally don't throw in anything
Yeah.
when you order something. So I was very surprised. So I'm not complaining about the bag of chips.
I think that they felt like they had to do that to make it a meal on the Disney dining plan, because I think it's
That's
like
right. You were saying
$13
that.
or something like that, which is meal priced,
Right.
low meal price, but meal price.
Yeah.
And to make it a meal, they had to throw in something else.
That's so
it
true.
kind of cheapens what it is, because it is like a very fancy.
Yeah.
It looks like a pizza, but it's like croissant dough or something. So it's, oh my god,
Totally. We recommend it 100%.
Very much recommend it, and I was very surprised. So that was lucky.
If you find that, very lucky. If you find yourself in Gaston's Tavern and you're getting a cinnamon roll with extra icing on the side, like us, get yourself one of those,
or a gray stuffed cupcake. Oh my god!
Oh yes! Wow, I'm just realizing Gaston's Tavern.
Gaston's is the winner.
Yeah, right.
It's the winner. That's where you should be eating your quick serve meal at Magic Kingdom. I'm not thinking this is subjective. I'm just telling you this is the answer.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, for us, it's not even a it's not even a question.
Yeah, I like Columbia Harbor House, but now that they've added this to Gaston's, it wins. The only thing is I still don't really think that's a meal.
No.
Even with your chips.
No. Yeah, you're right.
It's so light.
We always have to get a cinnamon roll with it, and even then, by the time you're done with the tart and the cinnamon roll, then you've kind of got like a light lunch.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a light lunch
on your hands.
Well, the cinnamon roll, you're right, that does help.
Yeah, that helps to beef it up.
But the cinnamon roll is probably like actually heavier than the entire ham and Gruyere.
I think so, because it's such a big cinnamon roll. Okay, I love that. Love discovering new food. That is definitely awesome.
Oh, this next one is just me being silly. I put making Disney friends like us, because Jake and I worked together we were teaching children drama and dance, but we bonded over Disney.
It's true.
Our love of Disney. And then we like had this friendship, fall in love, and we've been together ever since.
It's so true. It's so true. I honestly, sometimes I forget that although we did work together first, it was really Disney that like brought us, together.
It was not teaching children or
what
brought us together.
In fact, that was like a trauma bond kind of type of thing,
Yeah, totally.
It was the Disney. It was the fact that we both were like, oh my god, you love Disney too. Yeah. It was like,
and then awesome. Wait a minute, you remember that, or you know about like this Lucky the Dinosaur thing? What percentage of people Jake made this design for this shirt and then sent it to me and was like, how many people do you think would get, or do you think anybody would get this other than us? And I was like, no,
definitely not. Like such a tiny little sliver.
He was around for like 3 months.
I know.
I'll get to that in a second, because I'm going to give you guys a brief history of Lucky the Dinosaur.
We're really teasing Lucky the Dinosaur, but we will get there. But yeah, like we realized that we had kind of fallen in love with Disney.
Yeah.
It's like you love it as a kid, and then when you're an adult, you fall in love with it again in a new way.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were both kind of experiencing a new kind of love of Disney at the same time.
Yeah.
So we really could.
It included like the history and all of this stuff. Yeah. We loved it in the same way.
It was magical.
It was magical.
It was meant to be.
And a lot of times I'll start talking Disney with somebody, and then like 15 minutes into the conversation, I realize they don't really know what they're talking
exactly,
about.
Right? I do that even with people.
I'm like, okay, so you've been to Disney.
Yes, it's a different kind of...
Yeah.
I totally know what you're talking about. Because a lot of people, we live in Florida.
Right.
A lot of people have been to Disney, but we're on a different level.
Totally different level.
And you listening to the podcast are probably in a similar, kind of headspace that we are, but not everybody, the girls who get it, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, that is, I didn't think about this one, but I'm so glad you put it on the list, because that is definitely something that is so lucky if you happen to have a friend that can bond with the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one is one that we've been seeing online a lot. We have not encountered this IRL yet. But I kind of love the spirit of it,
I love the spirit of it, but I also don't really know. I don't know if I love it Go on.
It's pixie dust guest to guest.
Yeah.
It's people leaving surprises for each other in the park and then posting online. Come to this spot and
Yeah.
pick up this. We've left it. Or some people just leaving things around with little notes on it that
Yeah.
says, "You've been pixie dusted by me." Blank. Insert the name of the person who
Right.
left it. And it's either like a toy or sometimes like a small gift card or
Right.
sometimes at the resorts, people who don't need, I've got a full case of water I haven't,
Yeah.
used. Come to the laundry room and pick it up right now. That kind of pixie dusting is kind of a new thing coming with, I mean,
Yes.
new as in like probably the past decade with
Right.
like
Right.
Facebook and,
Right.
Facebook groups and stuff like that. Um,
My concern about it is it getting out of control. Like,
yeah.
so this is like the duck jeep thing. In on the cruise line, the little rubber ducks being left everywhere
Mm-hmm.
as like gifts for people to, like, oh, if you find a duck, you can keep it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it got so out of control that they wound up banning it.
Right.
Yeah, like, just not like banning it, like, but, well, they're
Discouraging it.
asking guests, straight up asking guests not to do it.
Yeah.
So
It kind of makes it an awkward
yeah,
situation for Disney,
right.
for the whole situation.
Since Disney can't control the safety of what's being given out,
Right.
or the product in general, it makes me a little nervous.
Exactly.
But I do love the spirit of it.
Totally. And the idea of it's the idea of we will take it upon ourselves to make each other's vacations a little
That's
extra more
nice.
magical is really kind-hearted and
Yes.
generous, and it's actually very moving to me sometimes when I see
Mhm.
people doing it. I
Yeah.
love it. But at the same time, from a public safety
Yeah.
perspective, there's always that part of me. Maybe it's the part of me that's worked with children a lot or
Right.
something.
Right.
But there's a part of me that always goes, "Don't even take that."
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what if we see, I have seen stuff that have been left like in the park, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna leave that for somebody else. You know what I mean?
It's a
Because I just
sad reality,
Yeah.
but it is, just if you're somebody who is safety focused
Yeah.
or, it's just
So I'm a little on the fence about it.
me too.
Yeah.
I've got mixed emotions. I'm so happy for the people who safely participate in this.
I love that people would want to help other people. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's great. I see common courtesy kind of going out the window.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, not like in Disney necessarily, although it does happen in
Sometimes.
Disney.
We've seen that too.
Everywhere. I'll just say everywhere.
Yeah.
So to have people being that thoughtful
Yes.
is nice.
It puts a little faith back in,
Yeah.
the public, in the
Right,
world, when you
right.
see people going out of their way to do something kind-hearted.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, we're like at the end of our list.
I know, this is pretty much it. This is our grand finale, which is kind of a personal story
Very
of ours,
personal.
but it does link to our what we're going to be talking about next. So we did have a very cool experience, and I guess this kind of falls under cast member magic, but
Yeah.
I would say
it's so crazy. Go on.
it is kind of crazy. It's these one-on-one cast member experiences that can really leave a great memory for you. Ours was, we were in Dino Land, USA at Restaurantosaurus. It was our first time eating there together, I think, actually.
Yeah, it was my first time eating there. Well, no. I think
we always get water from there.
You know what? I think I was with you, but I might not have been. We got those buffalo chip things from, which is
Dino Bites or whatever.
They're so silly that, I mean, I know it's all going away anyway, but they sell these like buffalo, is it chips?
Yeah.
And they've got buffalo sauce and ranch on them, and it's like a messy meal, but you sell them at a stand. So I walked them over and ate them in Restaurantosaurus.
Yeah.
So that's the only other time I've been in there.
Yeah. We were in there this time that we're talking about to try like a cookie, I think.
A cookie ice cream sandwich. And again, that wasn't even from Restaurantosaurus. It was from the ice cream place around the corner.
It's just shelter for us, this restaurant.
I think Restaurantosaurus, I know, it has pretty basic food.
It used to be a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And now it's like a
hamburger. Yeah.
Like Cosmic Rays.
Yeah.
Menu-wise. There's no cool animatronics. But what they do have are sometimes cast members who walk around with a guitar. One cast member.
That was at like the bar section.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird.
it is very strange. It was like an out of body experience almost. I could hardly believe what was going on. But he
Yeah.
was like an improv musical performer,
Super talented.
super talented, who would walk around with his guitar and on the spot ask you a couple of things about you
Yeah.
and then make up a little song that had all the details of what you had just told them, kind of woven throughout the lyrics.
Unbelievable.
And he was like doing this staccato strumming thing with his guitar, and it was almost like rapping with like the
Yeah.
speed of it. And it was so, we were just, a part of us, Morgan is not the biggest with like guest participation
I
type
don't
of
want,
stuff,
yeah.
audience participation. So a little part of us was a little like, "Ooh," like gritting
Yeah.
our teeth a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
But at the same time, it was so cool to have like a unique, magical,
Luckily for
custom.
me, there weren't very
Yes.
many other people there, so I did. The issue with it for me and my personal anxieties is I don't want
Yeah.
an entire room of people looking at me,
Right.
and that's what happens if somebody comes to sing to you.
Right. Because then you have to perform.
Yeah,
It's not just they're performing for you. Now you have to look
right. And
all
I'm
kinds
just
of.
trying to eat my ice cream sandwich, which was messy to begin with.
Right. Yeah, that's not what you want to be eating.
Right, but
when,
there was
yeah.
only like one other table in there, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
It was rainy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really rainy, and there was not a lot of people in the park. So
Yeah.
it was scarce in there. So it was kind of the ideal situation to have something like this happen to us.
And he was so talented.
And he was so good
Yeah.
that we were kind of thrilled
Yeah.
to have the
It was
experience.
nice at the my I
We
was
were
like, oh my god,
laughing.
oh no.
I know.
And then, but
I
within
saw him
like
coming
30
over, and I
seconds-
could hear the Jaws music playing in your mind
Yeah.
because I knew
Yeah.
that you were not you were not necessarily into it, but it left us with such a good story.
Yeah.
You know?
And we joked that it would be our like theme song for the podcast, and we haven't done that
know.
yet, but maybe we should.
Maybe we should, because he literally talked about the fact that we
podcast,
create
yeah.
a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very cute, and I loved it. And it was something very signature to that restaurant in Dinosaur USA, and I actually think it'll be one of the things I really miss when
Me too.
Dinoland goes away.
Yeah, it's definitely a good memory.
There's a lot about Dinoland that we love, though, and we couldn't have an episode about luck without talking about what Morgan's going to tell us about now.
Yes. So I did some research and was hoping to present to you guys with like a 15 or 20-minute history of Lucky the Dinosaur. Turns out there's not that much information, which is really sad. So Lucky the Dinosaur was a green Stegosaurus, and he was free roaming. He was an audio animatronic that was free roaming, and he was the first audio animatronic to be free roaming, which was crazy. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe it when I saw it as a kid for the first time, and I couldn't understand how an animatronic could walk the earth.
Yeah, it was crazy. He was. So he pulled a flower covered cart, which that had some of the workings in it. You know what I mean? And he was led by Chandler, the dinosaur handler, because I mean they can't just let him go. They've got to keep people from like climbing on him and stuff like that.
Cute.
He walked on 2 legs. He stood approximately 8 to 9 feet tall, and he measured 12 feet long. And then they gave him like a quirky personality. He loved people and balloons. He could laugh. He could sneeze, grin, snort, and bray. And occasionally he would get the hiccups.
That is so cute.
They spent 5 years with experimenting and developing Lucky. And he actually premiered at Disney California Adventure first.
Oh.
Very, very briefly. And then came to the Dino Land area of Disney Animal Kingdom from June to August of 2005.
Oh my god, really?
Is that crazy? June to August 2005.
How do we both remember this?
I know.
It's like
it's Lucky.
It's lucky. It's lucky. That's all it is it's lucky.
Yeah. So he was only there for a few months. Then he was moved to Hong Kong Disneyland for the celebration of the grand opening of the park in
Heavy
September.
box to send to Hong Kong.
Yeah, 2005. And then he was moved to Hong Kong Disneyland. Oh, wait, nope, I already said that.
Gotcha.
Then he was moved to, well, he made appearances at non-Disney parks. For example, like the 2008 World Science Festival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then June of 2009, um, he was permanently put in the storage at Walt Disney Imagineering and is occasionally called on to perform for the Adventures by Disney tour guest, which is
Aw.
unbelievable. It makes me want to book an Adventures by Disney.
I know. It like just to see Lucky.
Yes.
I
Yeah, but
know.
it's not guaranteed.
Right, exactly. You
Um
have to be lucky to see
yeah, so he was the first ever, like I said, first ever free moving audio animatronic.
Lucky. Oh, yes.
The flower cart would conceal the computer and power source.
Mm-hmm.
And so since then, they've done a few other free roaming animatronics, but they don't really. There's Push the. No, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
that an audio animatronic? Was that before? I'm not even going to get into that one.
It was free roaming. I don't know if they considered it an audio animatronic, but I thought
But
of
if
it
it
kind
was
of the same way.
before, then it wouldn't. Then it definitely wasn't because this is the first one.
Yeah, I don't know if he was before or after. You guys
I
remember
just
Push
was.
the Talking
Yeah.
Trash
Now
Can? That was fun.
I was just that's what I was thinking was in the same vein, but now I'm thinking that it's different. But anyway,
I
you
know.
said there was a Muppet one.
Yeah, Imagineering called this the Living Characters Initiative, and Lucky was the first one. And then they did this thing called Muppet Mobile Lab, which was at Epcot, and it was Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, and they were in this little spaceship-looking car thing that would free wheel around Future World, and it would shoot water out of it. They would shoot off sparks.
Oh wow!
It had like an interactive element where a cast member would control the direction, and the original Muppeteers for Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker contributed the voices. And it was kind of this like it was like a meet and greet from afar.
Yeah.
You could like interact with them, and they would kind of set off these effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Turtle Talk with Crush is also part of this initiative, which is not really the same thing,
Right.
but the idea of it being like live interactive, I think, was the idea, and that was the same with Push, the Talking Trash Can.
Right.
So I associate him with this as well.
Yeah. So I have to assume something went wrong with Lucky.
Oh yeah, it's
because
weird.
Why would you spend so much time and money making something that shows up for 3 months in Dino Land and then like a month or two here and a month or two there and then that's it? You're done.
Yeah,
so
maybe maintenance was really expensive or something.
But even if it can't be that because they already put all this money and time into it, I feel like something must have gone wrong.
Yeah,
but
maybe,
I don't know.
And we'll never know. You know?
I searched and searched to see if something went wrong, and I couldn't find anything. So if something did go wrong, they're not mentioning it. I do think this is the future,
right?
But maybe it's more of an issue not with Lucky himself or any of these themselves because I've never seen the Muppet one that you've referred to.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's an issue with the guests not being able to stay away, like a guest management type of situation.
I can see
or
that.
With traffic, like I mentioned back when we did the Tiki Bird episode, they had this great animatronic that they had outside of the Tiki room.
Yeah.
And it was great and everybody loved it to the point where it created so much traffic backup that they had to take him away.
Yeah, that's
so I
crazy.
could see the guest reaction being an issue because I remember when I saw Lucky the Dinosaur, boom, like crowd all around and it was clogging up the walkway. But like now Animal Kingdom is, I don't know, I want to say not doing well, but I don't really know. The lines are still pretty long, but they're open such a short amount of time. Anyway, that I thought maybe they'd be able to bring him back. But I don't know what happened. What I just went over were the facts about his existence.
Right. And it is definitely interesting. And to hear the time frames is actually really interesting because
if they're still showing him to Adventures by Disney tour guests, then he works.
Yeah, he must work a little bit. Maybe he's just not working.
That part leads me to believe it's the guest interaction issue of it that they didn't like.
Yeah, very logical, and we don't see a lot of this now. The movie, the living characters, so,
and the raptor encounter at Universal, which gives you not really similar vibes, but it is an animatronic, right?
Person. It's a person.
So it's a puppet.
It's a puppet. It's a person in there.
Okay, never mind then.
It might be, yeah, it's a person. It's a I almost said it might be two people, but it's like a costume. person in there that kind of scares you.
But it doesn't look like a.
No, it's a really good puppet. It's like a good dinosaur. It when I say costume, it's not like somebody in a Chewbacca costume. It's like they have to be like hunched over
Yeah.
and they have to like, it's kind
Yeah,
of a crazy setup.
anyway, my point with what I was getting to was that with the raptor encounter at Universal, so it's not an animatronic, but if it were, what they have there is they have him in a set spot and you have to wait in line to go interact with him. And I
Right.
think that that's the only way this might work in the future.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I don't know. I like the idea of like Wally just roaming around Epcot. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, or Tomorrowland or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I can see what you mean with like the guest interaction maybe being hard to manage, like a hard to manage type of issue. I could totally see
Too
that.
like unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to control
Yeah.
the
Which you
situation.
get. Yeah.
Totally. For even just for safety
Yeah.
purposes, I totally get it. But I will say Lucky is a very, very cool, very,
So
very
cool.
niche part of Disney history that I feel, speaking of lucky, I think we both feel really lucky to have been
Yeah.
there to experience that magic firsthand, because it kind of is one of those things where if you were there for it, then you got to experience it. And who knows if something like this will ever
Right.
come back in that way. So I feel very glad to have met Lucky.
Yeah, me too.
It is a very weird, but very lovable little piece of Disney history.
Yes.
Totally. Thank you for sharing that information. That was really interesting. I thought he was there for longer than that.
I know.
So that is really wild to hear.
Yeah.
And now that Dino Land is going away, it's just like that's another piece of Dino Land that I love, and I felt very lucky to have experienced. What do you guys out there, what do you feel lucky to have experienced at Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
I would love to know if people have had great bouts of luck at the Disney parks,
Yes.
because sometimes those are the coolest stories of all. It's like the
Yes.
happenstance of it all,
Absolutely.
Totally. If you would like to find us on social media, you can see all of the stuff that we've had going on in the parks, trivia, food and dining, and it's all there at Neverland Navco on Instagram and on TikTok. And we would feel very lucky to have you follow us over there as well.
Absolutely. And we also have an Etsy shop called Neverland Navigation where I sell custom Disney shirts and dish towels and sweatshirts like this Lucky the Dinosaur one we're going to be putting up.
Yeah.
But also, this is where you get your custom t-shirts from if you choose to book a trip with me by emailing me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. I will get right back to you and you get your trip booked, you get your free t-shirts. Have a lucky time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode, and we will see you on our next adventure. Goodbye.